Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the week of... no, this is your March bonus reading, and we are going to jump right in here. You have this passion card and this revisit card. Yes, like, are you kidding me? Every single reading, or I wouldn't say every single reading, but like every few months you get a reading that says that you could be revisiting like an old idea, or you could be rebirthing an old idea. And I feel that would be freaking amazing for you, Capricorn. Like any... And you're probably not going to do the old idea the same way that you did it the first time, but I think it is definitely an amazing time for Capricorn to like revisit something that they were working on, or a project or an idea, and to do it again, in an upgraded kind of way is what I would say here. So I think it is absolutely critical that you revisit something that you're passionate about, especially if it's like a project. You have the Ace of Pentacles here. Ace of Pentacles is something that needs to be nurtured into existence. I see you really like focusing in on something. Maybe you've been feeling lazy or something for the past few months, and I really see that Ace of Pentacles as you kind of like saying, okay, I'm going to give this a good effort, like an idea, or something like that. You have the Knight of Swords, so definitely no rushing this month, I would say. Knight of Swords, he is like forcing this horse to run, and that horse is meant to look stressed out because he is forcing it to do something. So I think that trying to force things to work this month will be difficult. If you allow things to happen this month, then you'll have a great time. And I feel like the Knight of Swords is about like not forcing. The Knight of Swords, there is a good side to the Knight of Swords, which is momentum. And you being a Capricorn, that should be your keyword for the rest of your life, really. Based off all the astrology that you've been through, I would just be focusing on things that build momentum, like what is actually moving you forward. And if you double down on that stuff, forget about it. You will be very successful. You have the Death card as your crossing energy, kind of like not wanting to revisit something, and so kind of interesting because the Death card says there needs to be a transformation, especially, the crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you. And, crossing with that Knight of Swords could say that you have been thinking about, an old project or an old way of doing things, or you've been thinking about revisiting something that you were working on. And again, I don't think this is a person or anything. Let me make that clear. I think that this is a project, or, it could be a way of living, or, habits that you had. It could be, fixing your health or whatever. And the Death card crossing is kind of like not going through the transformation. I think that being more excited is what you need to do. This child right here is the only person on the Death card that is not afraid of the Death Rider. The child is holding these flowers up to the Death Rider, and it's kind of about being childlike. Children are excited for new experiences. Children ask a lot of questions. Being more childlike is probably the solution to this crossing energy here. Next, in the area of what's on your mind, you have the Emperor, bossing up, thinking about bossing up, thinking about taking control of something, probably the Ace of Pentacles. The thing about the Emperor is that he's ready to go at a moment's notice. He has his armor on underneath his cloak, and he's sitting on his throne, and so he kind of waits for an opportunity, and then he takes action. I've said this to you before, Capricorn, that, in Vedic astrology, traditionally, Capricorn was the crocodile. You were not the, the sea goat or whatever, right? And crocodiles are sit-and-wait predators. They wait for opportunity to come to them, and then when an opportunity comes, they slap their jaws shut, and they capture it, right? And they do not let go. And so I feel that type of energy would be very good for you this month. Like, if you see an opportunity, claim it, take it, and make it happen. You have the Ace of Pentacles in your foundation. So it's like you're sitting on a golden egg, it's kind of what I feel. It's like the Emperor is sitting up here, and he's sitting on this Ace of Pentacles. But this is going to become nothing if you don't nurture it into existence. So the thing with the Ace of Pentacles is that it's like a garden. We have this garden right here. We have to water it, feed it, fertilize it, give it sunlight. And, I think that taking advantage of an opportunity that you have and really, really putting effort into it is what's going to make you successful this month. But again, you have to do it to make it happen. But there definitely could be a really solid opportunity being presented to you at this time. So, again, be like the crocodile. Once you grab onto it, don't let go until you have it in the bag, right? And that's what I would do with that Ace of Pentacles. Next, in the area of your past or what you're moving past, you have this oyster card. It says concepts, beauty, resilience. You have this quail. It says refuge, nourishment, and solutions. It's actually pretty good because, first off, this card could say that you've been nourishing yourself, you've been recharging your batteries, which I think is good. And this card here says concepts on it, which is kind of a funny word for Capricorn because it's like I think that Capricorn is definitely a doer, and you don't necessarily. It's not that you don't like concepts, but I feel that concepts can be a little bit boring. Like thinking about the idea of something is great, but I feel like you rather have the physical result. And so I think you've been in this time of extensive thinking. Like a thinking period of time, and I guess the good news here is that you're leaving a thinking period of time and entering into that more doing type energy, which is great. You have the Knight of Wands in the past. Knight of Wands is very, I have the word speckled popping into my head. I don't even know what that means, Capricorn, or why that popped into my head, but I'm going to say it. It's like you've had a very spotty type of energy. I feel you've had a lot, maybe an inconsistent feeling over the past few months, and I guess the good news is that you're probably leaving that behind, and I don't even think this is one thing. I just think that energetically things have been a little bit more inconsistent or have felt a little bit more scattered and probably less structured than you would like. Next, in the area of your very near future, you have this communicate card and this slow it down card. With the Knight of Swords, definitely a good time to slow it down, to slow down your thinking, and don't get too far ahead of yourself. I'm also, another message that's popping into my head with these two cards is that any result is a good result. And so, I would be careful of starting something and thinking the first time I do this activity, I need to get this result. If you get close, or even if you get 50% of the result, that is a result, right? And I feel you need to give yourself credit. And I also think that this is saying commit to something until May. I have a 90-day rule. Every 90 days I start something new and I commit to it for that 90 days, whether it's working or not. And at the end of the 90 days, I reassess where it's going. If it's a project or an idea that I have or an experiment I'm running on YouTube or whatever, right? I give it 90 days and I make no judgments until the end of the 90 days. I used to get nothing done. I used to have millions of ideas a year. And what I used to do is I used to try them all at once, and I would never get anything done. When I gave myself the 90-day rule, instead of getting nothing done, I used to maybe get 1 or 2 things done a year, which is a lot better than nothing, right? So, again, it changed my life, and, it's definitely something that I think would be very helpful for you at this time. You have the Ten of Cups also coming up in the very near future, so a lot of happiness, which is great. The Ten of Cups is about focusing on what makes you happy. It's also happy home, happy family, so if you have love, this looks like a pretty good reading if you already have it. Could also be good for dating. I consider the Ten of Cups kind of a dating card and getting out there and figuring out what you want, so, there you go. Next, in your outcome row, you have this taking risks card and this standstill card. Yeah, I think risks is the name of the game. Anywhere you feel like an imposter. I really get that feeling from this reading for whatever reason. It's I feel like you probably are better than you think at doing something. Especially for those of you that are thinking about starting a business or, starting a new project or, working on something personally. But I just get this little bit of imposter syndrome here. What if people call me a fraud, or what if people call me fake, or what if people call me this or that or the other thing? And guess what? People probably will. I get comments about how I'm a fraud every single day because I read tarot. Of course that's going to happen, even though I don't even charge money for this. So how is it fraud? I don't get it. But anyway, it doesn't matter because, again, you just have to ignore it. So people are going to do it anyway, number one. But number two, I feel that is the risk you have to take, right? We have Pluto and Aquarius, and I always say the risk with Pluto and Aquarius is exposure. We have to risk being the star. We have to take that risk, and I would definitely encourage you to do that. Next, in the area of your next few months, you have the Seven of Cups, so a lot of options. I kind of see this as you expanding your options. What's really funny is, as I always say to you, for whatever reason, I always tell you my business, Capricorn. I teach YouTube on weekends, and I have a lot of people that always ask me, they're like, what happens if I run out of ideas, right, for my YouTube channel? And I always tell those people, you know what, like once you get started, you will have so many ideas that you won't even know what to do with, but you have to get started first. And I kind of get that energy for you, where it's like maybe you're worried, like, oh, if I start this business or this project, I'm going to run out of time, or I'm going to run out of energy, or I'm going to run out of ideas on how to keep it growing. But it's like, no, like once you get started, that's where the flow really begins. And I feel the Seven of Cups is kind of saying that to you. And that's it. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Devil. The Devil is you. So, I kind of feel like usually it's a good thing if you show up as yourself, especially the Major Arcana version of yourself in a reading. It puts you in a position of power and strength. And I feel this could say that you're kind of the center of attention this month. We're going to clarify this reading, and we'll definitely see what comes up. But, I definitely get a little bit of this like center of attention type energy. So I don't really feel bad about the Devil at all. Of course, I would be careful of any energy vampires in your life, and, anyone who's like stealing your energy. But overall, I feel pretty positive. One thing I will say as well here, Capricorn, with the Devil is, I think Capricorn is one of the signs right now where it's like you need to make sure that you are number one, that you are in charge, right? And so, as you become more successful or whatever in the future, people are going to want more of your time, and I would be careful of saying yes. Like, I think it's a great time for boundaries for pretty much everyone anyway, so learning to say no is going to be helpful. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Five of Swords. I think this is definitely very natural for Capricorn right now. Personally, I don't think the fives are that bad in tarot. Like, sure, this could represent a breakup or a separation, but really, the Five of Swords is about walking away. He's walking away from battle, and he is the winner. This guy at the front of the card. So a lot of you could be cutting people out. You could be walking away from things that no longer serve you, and that's really the energy I get on the Five of Swords. Your outcome is the Two of Cups. For some of you, this could be love. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be love. The Two of Cups is really communication with your higher self. We have like you and your higher self. This staff right here is a staff of Hermes, which is Mercury, which can represent communication. And so I feel that, and we're in a very spiritual time. We have all this energy in Pisces. So I would definitely work on communicating with your higher self, or, tapping in, meditating, going for walks, whatever it is for you. I would do it with that Two of Cups. But let's see what we get here for you, Capricorn. With the Knight of Swords and the Death card, you have two cards, the Four of Cups and the Page of Wands. The Four of Cups is about past disappointments. And if you're revisiting an old idea, then you definitely could be focused on, all the reasons what you were trying to do didn't work. And I feel this is just a very, I think it just is what it is right now for Capricorn. It is the energy that you're dealing with. The Page of Wands is about taking a more happy-go-lucky approach to whatever it is that you're working on. It really does not have a good reason for going on his adventure. He's just excited, which means nothing, right? But he's also just saying, I'm not going to worry about the outcome. I'm just going to see how this goes. And I feel that would be very good for you. With the Emperor, you have the Eight of Cups. Some of you could be thinking about walking away from things that no longer serve you. It's almost like you're waiting for an opportunity to walk away from something, which I think you're going to get. So, and what you could be walking away from is just like limitations, financial limitations or other limitations. This is also the only card that has an eclipse on it. And we have two eclipses this month, so, definitely, anytime we have eclipses, or we enter into eclipse season, of course we are going to cut things out or remove certain things from our life. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Hierophant. This is like a divine blessing, really. I mean, the Hierophant is blessing these two people in front of him here. So I feel for a lot of you that this opportunity that you're receiving could be a blessing, or, could be something that you've asked the universe for. And, that's really all I'm getting on the Hierophant. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is about moving on to calmer shores. Like I said, I feel you're moving on from that inconsistent energy, or like a spotty energy. I got the word speckled, like, spotty, very, it's like just very kind of, spotty type of energy that you're feeling. It's like some days you're good, some days you're bad. It's like some days you're making money, some days you're not. I feel it's been very much like these little spots in your life. And I feel like you're trying to get away from that, which is not a bad thing. It's like, life is like a wave. It's like usually, if we make money, we make more money, then it kind of, goes down. But I think riding those waves forward is what you're trying to learn how to do, if that makes sense. And you're trying to learn how to like stretch out those waves. And, I don't know. It's like, are you done learning this yet? I feel no. It's like you're still learning this, but I feel like it's getting better and better and better. So I don't know. There you go. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Ten of Cups. So Ten of Cups is amazing because Ten of Cups can represent fortune after difficulty. Like maybe that would be a good exercise for you. Like, how can I stretch those waves out? Where I'm going up, and it's like, how can I then ride the wave instead of just going straight down? I wish I had a better way to say that to you, because I know that's not very helpful. But it's like, how can you stretch out the waves, right? With the Seven of Cups, you have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, there could be a really good offer coming in for you. The Seven of Cups, he's looking at all these cups, and he's trying to figure out which cup is going to be the best. But there could be I kind of feel that Ace of Cups is an obvious cup that's coming in for you over the next few months. And sure, it could be love. It could also be anything else that causes you to overflow. So I like to see that for sure. With the Devil, you have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles would be about making time for people. And so, if you have good people in your life, which I'm sure you do, you have the Ten of Cups twice, then making time for those people could be very important. Some people recharge their batteries by socializing. And if that's you, then I would definitely make the time to socialize. The two of Pentacles is just like work hard, play hard. So I would make sure that, again, if you're working hard or if you're very focused on the things that you're creating, then I would make sure you're playing. How crazy is this, by the way? I always say on the Two of Cups, we have these waves behind him. They start very small, and then they get bigger as they go across the card. So there is definitely something about like catching the wave in your reading. And, there could be, the opportunity could be some sort of wave that you're catching with that Ace of Pentacles. And so and you could be learning this from people in your life, right? So there could be people that have opportunities for you. I always tell a story, like my dad told me about Bitcoin when it was like $3 or something like that. He had a super nerd friend who probably is living on like a yacht in Dubai right now, because he probably bought 1 million of them when it was like cents, right? And I remember thinking like, wow, that's a really interesting idea. That's a really good idea. If I had only listened to that intuition, right, I would have caught that freaking wave. So, and it came from another person. So, sometimes I think we get ideas from people and we just kind of think like, oh, that's interesting. So if you have anything that happens to you this month where you're like, oh, that's interesting, you don't have to like fully commit to it, but it might be worth exploring the idea, the thought, the whatever. With the Five of Swords, you have the World, yes. Also your card is the World. The World can represent like an accomplishment or an achievement coming in for you. And so you could really end up being kind of like a winner this month, even with that Five of Swords. And I feel that for you. There might not, the Five of Swords says there might be people who don't like it that you're winning, but I don't know. That's on them. That's not your responsibility there, Taurus or Capricorn. Sorry, I said Taurus because I pulled the Empress. Now, here's the thing: is that you have the Two of Cups with the Emperor and the Empress. So for those of you, sure, we'll take it. That flew out. Are you kidding? I don't know if you saw that, but I literally picked up the deck and this card flew out. So there definitely could be love coming in for you, and it could be a very strong, divine counterpart there with those two cards. So, or really like all this right here. And yeah, if you want love, looks really good. Next, you have this younger man card. It says dealings or relationships, the younger man. You have this wheel. It says indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble aimlessly. This is what I was saying with the devil. You need to be number one. I feel for Capricorn that you could get caught up in projects with other people that just go nowhere. And it's not like a criticism on those people or anything, but again, I just get the feeling that Capricorn needs to make sure that, like, sure, if you're going to work together with other people, you're the leader, and that's it. And if you're not the leader, then you shouldn't do it. You have this mice card that says discord among family and friends. Again, family looks really good with the Ten of Cups, but again, if there are people who are slowing you down, who are energy vampires, who are keeping you stuck, that is the energy that I would avoid. You have this dog. It says getting together with friends. So again, there are going to be, this is how life works. There are going to be some people who are good for you. There are going to be some people who are bad for you. Make sure that you are surrounding yourself with the people that make you feel better, with the people that lift you up. And I feel like I've been saying this to you for a while. You have this bouquet. It says compliments from admirer. Again, I kind of feel like this will be very obvious with that Ace of Cups. It's like the obvious choice. You have all these options, but then you get the Ace of Cups and you're like, oh, I'm taking that. And so if there's love coming in for you, you might have a lot of interest, but there might be like one interest that really stands out, and that could be where this like love is coming from. You have this bull. It says, do not back down from opposition. Show strength and fortitude. Yep, 5 of Swords. Like, you need to be the winner. It's almost like you need to be a little bit mean this month, Capricorn. And I don't mean like you're being a jerk or anything like that. But, if there's something you want, I feel like you need to claim it and get it. And if other people don't like it, like I said, that's on them. So I do get this energy of needing to, kind of just go for something that you really want. And that's what I would do with this, everything that's going on here. But I love this reading for you. This is really good. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.